First one, which two lines are parallel? So see how it looks like a little tic-tac-toe? What we need to do is figure out which line to cover up, okay? And you can also fill in like a little extra of it as well using your vertical angles, but you want to just be a good noticer. I notice here's a 100 and here's an 80. What do those add up to? So probably I want to try and use those. So just kind of like use your common sense. If I fill in all of my vertical angles, across from here is going to be 100. And across from this one is going to be 80. And then you can fill in your linear pairs because those are going to add up to 180. So like these are going to be 80 and these are going to be 100. I filled it all in. You can or not. I mean, your test is going to be on the computer. But which two lines do you think are parallel? Like which ones have the information that matches up? Yeah, S and T. Do you see how we can cover this one up and we don't even need it? So it's just S parallel to T. And your test is going to be multiple choice. So there will be choices there for you to pick from. But you're just picking the ones that match up. So just be a good noticer. I noticed there was an 80 and a 100. Those add up to 180. You know, those are the ones that I wanted to look at. This one's kind of hard because it says which of the following is false. Okay, so when that's the case, I would look at all four choices and state true or false for all of them, and then go back and pick the one that is false. Okay, so let's see. Angle 4 is congruent to angle 6. What do you think? They're on the same side. Are those going to be congruent? No, same side means they should be good. Add up to 180, supplementary. So I'm going to put false for that one. So it kind of feels like that one's the answer, but let's just look at all the rest of them. All right, 4 is congruent to 5. What do you think? Yeah, those are alternate interior. Those are congruent, so that's true. I have to keep on erasing here. 2 is congruent to 6. Those are congruent. What do we call those when they match up like that? Like it's in the exact same spot. Yep. Perfect. Corresponding has been the hardest one for everybody, so just look out for that. And then 1 is congruent to 8. Those are alternate what? Yeah, exterior, which means those are congruent. So again, A, as in abracadabra, is the answer. But when it says which one is false, especially, make sure you read all of the choices. It's important to just test them all. It doesn't take that long. And then 3, we're going to use the same picture. What is the angle relationship between 1 and 8? Oh, I still have them circled, and we literally just said it. They're alternate exterior. Good. Exterior because they're outside of the parallel lines. So it's just which pair is this? All right, here, which lines are parallel? So I would go and fill this in again, just like we did number 1, and then pick the ones that match up. So if this is 50, I can put 50 across from that. Those are vertical. And then to get the ones next to it, you would do 180 minus 50. Of course, you can use a calculator. I'm just going to sort of be your calculator for this. 180 minus 50 is, oh, good, nice job, is 130. So actually, you can probably see it already. Which one is going to match with this? Yeah, do you see how D matches up with the 130? You can fill it in if you want to. Again, your test is going to be on the computer, so you won't really be able to write on the computer screen. But I'm going to say which two are parallel, A and D. All right, number 5. Oh, we had one exactly like this in one of our warm-ups. We're going to find the value of all the variables. So X, Y, and Z. Actually, this is the one that we just did last time. Although that was across a weekend. That was Friday. So we need to remember from last week. So I would start with the Y, actually. The ones across from each other are congruent. So Y is going to be what? Yeah, 28. And then how would you get the other two? They're also going to be the same. How would you get the other one? I'm bringing up my calculator here so I can type it. Yeah, minus it from 180. So I just typed it in real quick. 180 minus 28 is 152. And again, the X and the Z are across from each other, so they're also going to be congruent or the same. So you're just filling it in. Cool. All right, number 6, which one of these is true? So again, I'm going to test all of them and put true or false, and we'll go back and pick the one that's true. If the lines are parallel. All right, so let's look. 2 is congruent to 3 because they're vertical. 2 and 3 are vertical and they are congruent. But does that have anything to do with these lines being parallel? It doesn't. Do you see how 2 and 3 are both from this section? In order for it to be true, you have to have one from each. So you have to have one from this grouping and one from this grouping. So I do not want that choice. Even though those angles are congruent, it has nothing to do with the lines being parallel. So it's not going to be that one. All right, 4 is congruent to 5 because they are alternate interior. If it helps you, I'm going to turn the paper. Are those alternate interior, 4 and 5? Yes. Okay, so it seems like that's the answer. That one is going to be true, but let's test them all. You know, when you're taking a test, you want to test all of your choices, right? 4 is congruent to 7 because they are same side interior. Now, they are on the same side, but would they be congruent? Same side means supplementary, so that is false. And then the last one, 3 is congruent to 5 because they're same side exterior. Well, they're not even on the same side, and that doesn't even make any sense. So those aren't any relationship to each other. So what's our answer? Yeah, B. But just make sure you test them all. Your test is not all that long. Like, take your time and try all your choices. Okay? This one I'm going to need the calculator for. We want to find x. Listen, you're either going to set them equal or they add up to 180. Those are the only options, okay? So looking at these two, do you see how they're on the same side? Okay, that means we're going to put 2x plus 9, and then what? They're on the same side. So plus, good, the other one equals 180. Again, if you get stuck though, either set them equal or add them to be 180. It is one or the other. You have a 50-50 shot, okay? And then from there, you can put it in the calculator. So just bear with me while I share my screen so I can get this on the recording here for the absent people to watch. All right, so we're going to come over here to Desmos, and we're going to type it in just like I've taught you. So in the first box, we're going to put all of the left side of the equal sign. You guys just watch, make sure I don't mistype something, all right? And then in the next one down, we're going to put what? Y equals 180. And then you have to zoom out quite a lot to get all the way up to 180. There it is. And we're going to click on the intersection, and our answer is 22. Okay. So again, you need to know how to set it up, but then the calculator will do all the hard work for you. So x is 22, but you need to know that these add up to be 180. That's something that you have to know, right? Let me make this bigger again. You guys are being super quiet. Does that mean you understand everything? Is that good? I mean, we've been doing parallel lines for like 2 weeks now. So, all right. If the lines are parallel, find x and y. Thank you. All right, so I would just go and fill in like what I know to try and drop this 120 down to see if I can match it up with the x and y. So I would fill in all the corresponding ones. If this is 120, this is going to be 120. And then this one is also 120. And then so y is going to be 120. All right, so I found y by just sort of dropping down my corresponding angle. Now 120 and x make a straight line. So what would I need to do to get x? Yeah, minus from 180. Can anyone do that without a calculator? I'm just throwing it out there. 180 minus 120 is 6. Nice job. Perfect. I'm going to throw it out there if it seems like a fairly simple one. All right. All right, which of these proves that the lines are parallel? All right, 3 equals 6. What do you think? What are 3 and 6 to each other? What type of pair? Alternate interior. Are those equal or congruent? Yes. Okay, so it seems like it's going to be that one. But again, let's test them all. Just test them all, all right? 1 equals 4. Now, that's true, but what's the problem? Like, why does that not prove the lines are parallel? Yeah, you have nothing to do with the other line. You need to pick one from each, all right? 2 and 4, same thing. they're both up here, so that's not going to work. And then 1 and 3, same thing. They're both here at line M. You need one from each for it to work. So A as in applesauce is our answer there. All right, cool. Nice job. All right, if the lines are parallel, find X. We're going to set it up, and then I'm going to go to the calculator. I'm going to actually turn this one sideways. Here's my parallel lines. Are these going to be equal, or am I going to add them to 180? At first, it looks like they're on the same side, and they are on the same side, but do you see how they're in the same place? Like this is the upper right, and this is the upper right. So they're not like same side anything. What do we call these? It begins with a C. Yeah, when they match up like that, they're corresponding. So we're going to set them equal. 2x plus 4 equals 152. Actually, can we just go ahead and work that out by hand? That one's not all that hard, and I don't feel like pulling up the calculator. What would we do first for our algebra? Yep, subtract 4. That one's just not that difficult, so let's just go ahead and actually work it out. 152 minus 4 would be 148. And then your last step is divide by 2. Do you want me to show you how you can do this without a calculator? What's 14 divided by 2? It's 7. So it's going to start with 7. And then 8 divided by 2 is 4. Not that you can't use a calculator. I just didn't feel it's so many steps for me to click to bring up the calculator. I didn't feel like it. I think looking ahead, I am going to actually probably need it with this one. All right, if the lines are parallel, find measure of angle ABC. Are we going to set these equal, or are we going to add them to 180? Well, here's where the first one is. This 3x plus 5 is right here, and then your 7x minus 3 is here. So what kind of a pair are they? Good, they're alternate. And even if you get the alternate part, alternate means that they are congruent. Perfect. All right, so we're going to set them equal. And that's not actually that hard either. I think you could work that out by hand, but I'm going to use the calculator. All right, so let me share. Thanks for bearing with me. It's so many clicks for me to share and then bring up the calculator. All right, so in the first little box, I'm going to put the left side of the equal sign. So what is it, 3x plus 5? And then in the second one, I'm going to put 7x minus 3. I'm going to have to zoom in on that to see where they intersect. Let's see. So right there, and x is 2. Okay, so write x equals 2. We got that from the calculator. But are we done with the problem? No. Okay, so you have to read the directions. We got x equals 2, but what is it asking for? You just need to make sure you read. Measure of angle. Okay, so watch me point to this. Here's A, here's B, here's C. We want this one. Do you see the one I'm pointing to? A, B, C? Right here? Okay. What did we say X was? 2. So you're going to do 3 times 2 and then plus 5. As a heads up, it's not going to make sense with how the angle looks. That's because I just invented this problem. It looks like an obtuse angle, so it should be more than 90. It's not going to come out that way, but just go with it, okay? Ms. Cole just invented this problem, so just go with it. All right, you could use a calculator, but what's 3 times 2? Yeah, 6 plus 5, 11, okay? Listen, in multiple choice, one of the wrong answers would be if you stopped here. Do you get what I'm saying? Like 2. So just be really, really careful with reading the directions because you can very easily know exactly what you're doing and still get it wrong. Okay, so just be careful. All right, if the lines are parallel, measure of angle 2 is 40. So I'm going to fill that in. So that's 40. Find measure of angle 7. So 2 and 7 are alternate what? Alternate exterior, which means that they are congruent. So, I mean, your answer is 40. Measure of angle 7, 40. Don't overthink that. All right, that's if you feel like that's going to be the answer, just go with your gut. Okay. Using the same picture, which does not. So this is, again, I'm going to test all of them, and we're going to do like true, false. Okay. So let me erase on my picture here, and I'll just kind of point to it. Angle 2 plus angle 5 equals 180. All right, here's 2 and here's 5. Let me see. Would those equal 180? I think they actually would. If you look at what corresponds with 2, if I slide that down here, 2 corresponds with which one? Yet 6, and would 5 and 6 add up to 180? Yeah, because they make a straight line. So true, which means it's not your answer. It says which one does not, right? Let's try the next one. 2 plus 8 equals 180. So here's 2 and here's 8. Those are same side exterior. Those should equal 180. So true, which means it's not your answer. Again, this is why you want to test all of them. All right, 2 plus 4. Here's where we have an issue. Why would 2 and 4 not give you that the lines are parallel? Yeah, they're on the same line. You don't have anything from n there. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that's my answer, but let's just check the last one to be sure. 4 and 6. So that's these two. Those are same side interior, which should equal 180. So that's true. So our answer is C. Please, on your test, do this exactly like I'm showing you. Test all 4 of them. You will have enough time. Don't rush, because sometimes it says which one does not, like which is the false one. You just got to be really careful. All right, just make sure you read and you'll be fine. All right, if the lines are parallel, find A, B, and C. All right, so let me make a little list. Let's do A first. 30 and A make a straight line, which means they should add up to 180. Could you do that one without a calculator? 180 minus 30? Be 150. Good job. I'm going to just fill that in on my picture. So if the lines are parallel, I'm going to turn my paper here. 30 and B would be corresponding. Do you see how if I slide that down, they're going to just match up? So that means B would be 30, right? So B is 30. Oh, and actually there's D here. Whoopsie, we have another one to find. All right, if I slide the 150 down, that's going to match up or correspond with C. So C is 150. And then C and D are what kind of pair? If they're across from each other, what do we call that? Vertical. And so they should be congruent. So D is also 150. Hey, Ms. Cole, it feels like we wrote the same thing over and over again. Sure did. And if that happens on your test, don't second guess yourself. Like there's not that many options, right? All right, almost done. Thanks for hanging in there. I always try to make the part where I'm talking at you the shortest part, and then the part where you guys get to work together, you know, more time. So we have to get through this because I want you to do well. All right, if angle 1 equals angle 9, which lines are parallel? So I'm going to circle 1 and 9. Which line can I cover up because I have nothing circled on it? B. Okay, cool. I'm going to get rid of that. Turn my paper sideways. Now, if you cover up the one that you want to get rid of, it should be kind of obvious which 2 are left. Which are the 2 that are, yeah, C and D. And when you take this test, you're allowed to turn your computer. You can turn your computer on its side. I was showing you to do that when we did our classwork. And then the last one is just what pair are angle 3 and angle 6? So what do you think? 3 and 6. Yep, alternate because they're opposite sides, and interior because they're inside of the parallel lines. Don't stop listening to me real quick. We're going to add one thing to the end of this. There's going to be a few review questions from last unit. So let's just review converse, inverse, and contrapositive really quick. Okay, converse, inverse, contrapositive. I wrote out the whole word. If you want to abbreviate, that's fine. But let's just review them real quick because there's going to be a couple review questions on your test. So these are the if-then statements. Converse means you took your sentence and did what? Flipped it, switched it, reversed it, whatever you want to say for that. I'm just going to write flip. That's what you guys said. Inverse means negate. So you put not in there. But the order stays the same. And contrapositive means you flip and negate. And the only other thing, I'm just going to verbally review this. A counter example means the first part of the sentence is true and the second part of the sentence is false. Perfect. A counter example. Here, I'll make up a sentence. You don't have to write it, but will you just all listen to me? Make up a sentence that's false. If an animal has 4 legs, then it is a dog. Is that true? Does every animal that have 4 legs is a dog? No. Can you come up with an animal that has 4 legs but is not a dog? Yeah, cow, rhino, cat, elephant, anything with 4 legs but isn't a dog. So it passes the first part and fails the second part. What's that? A counter example. Yeah, it's like this is a false sentence. Like this is not true. So you're giving an example that's showing why it's false. That's why it's called a counter example. But there will just be like a few review questions on there. So I just wanted to go over it again.